I don't talk a ton of recruiting here, but this one everybody can understand. Iowa State lost its blue chip quarterback to Alabama this week. Class of 2026. It's not something that seems out of left field, right? Iowa State losing a quarterback to Bama. Like, people get it. They understand that's not some totally wild thing. The question I have here is, how negative of a message does this send about the Big 12's place in the world? That Iowa State, a team that just played for the Big 12 championship last year, has a quarterback that right now seems destined probably for the NFL. Great college quarterback who was throwing to a couple of NFL wide receivers last year. They are getting usurped by Alabama. And the details on this matter, which I'm about to explain to you here. So is this an inevitability for many or most, perhaps all, teams in the Big 12 here? I'm going to read to you a little bit from the ESPN story about this. So a record-setting quarterback from Omaha, Nebraska, Tamala. Damn it, I don't have his first name. What is Tamala's first name, Iowa State fans? I'm sorry to make you relive this. It is Jet. I was about to say Brett. I knew it wasn't at Jet Tamala. Cool name, honestly. I dig that. Jet Tamala, ESPN's number 18 quarterback in the latest cycle. He initially committed to Iowa State in April. So he commits to Iowa State in April. He does not even receive a scholarship offer from Alabama until May 15th. And then he's gone. That's how it works. If you are Alabama, you can come in a month after a kid is committed to another Power 4 school, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Tamala visited the Crimson Tide 2 weeks later. He connected with Kalen DeBoer, offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb, quarterback coach Nick Sheridan. Here is what Tamala said after that visit. Quote, "My dream is to go to the NFL. The resources around the place and all the eyes that are on you, I know I can develop there. Those coaches can be really good for my process of becoming the best quarterback I can be." Now, this is a key part of this story, all right? So after signing five-star dual threat Keelan Russell in the 2025 cycle, Alabama had largely stayed away from the top end of the passer market in 2026 before stepping up its efforts this past spring. Keep that part in mind. That part, I think, is very, very important here. So, look, like, Iowa State's going to be fine. This is not a segment about, like, oh, man, Iowa State football is screwed. What is Iowa State ever going to do? Like, Rocco Becht was a 3-star quarterback. I looked up. I mean, he did have an Ole Miss offer listed, but other than that, it was a bunch of nobodies. Damn it. What did I do with my notes? There we go. Wake Forest, Marshall, Southern Miss. Ole Miss, Wake Forest, Marshall, Southern Miss for the Rocco Becht offer sheet. That was not the guy. J.J. Cole was the guy, which speaks to one. I mean, Matt Campbell's ability to go out and find good quarterbacks. J.J. Cole was the Elite 11 blue chip quarterback. Now he's transferred to App State because he couldn't beat out Rocco Becht because they recruited another quarterback that was better, that was less heralded. So, like, Iowa State will be fine. They'll find a quarterback. They can coach him up. This is not the end of the world there. But to me, it's more about, like, kind of the symbolism of how this went down that you really have to hate about it. Because, look, I laid out the timeline there. Like, you can put all this investment into it and get the kid early, be the first on him. He's out of the Omaha area. They beat Nebraska to the punch. Get him signed up, get him locked up. He's committed for a month. Bama comes in and is like, well, yeah, I guess we'll offer. And it's not just that. This is a Bama that, as it was pointed out in the article, had been like, well, you know, we signed a great 5-star quarterback last year. I don't know if do we really need to dip back into it in 26? Do we need to put a lot of resources there? Maybe. And then kind of after a while, they're like, yeah, okay, fine. You know, this kid seems worthy, I suppose. Yeah, we'll go get him. Nice luxury item. And instead of like, hey, you know, like, we need a quarterback. Like, this is a regular meal that I need to eat every day. This is like Alabama being like, hey, you know, do we want sprinkles on the cupcake today? Or do we want to just go regular cup? Now, you know, I think I'd like sprinkles. So, okay, yeah, see if we can get those sprinkles over there. That's really what it is to Bama here. And that's the frustrating part. You know, they can still just come in, scoop it up like that when he's not really the priority there. And the NFL thing, I mean, look, Iowa State's, I don't know if you guys have noticed, they've got a really highly paid quarterback in the NFL right now. His name's Brock Purdy. Like, if the quote from the kid is, I'm worried about how I'll develop for the NFL, Brock Purdy just became a multi-millionaire with a massive contract. He has played for a Super Bowl championship. And, oh, by the way, they just developed receivers to the point where they had guys go in the second and third round last year, the two top targets there. They also have been a great place churning out tight ends. They've got tight ends in the NFL. Like, I don't know, man. Iowa State's got a pretty damn good selling point there as far as what you could become at the next level going through that program. And again, you still can just be Alabama's sprinkles. I guess another thing I would point out here for the specific Iowa State part of it is that they could get him back. I mean, this could be a bounce back. The thing that you have to remember in recruiting these days with the transfer portal is like, hey, you finish second, better be nice to the kid because he very well could get to Bama and decide in a year, yeah, this isn't working out. I'm behind Keelan Russell. I'm behind whoever. I'm not going to get to play. Maybe I should have just gone to Iowa State in the first place and they could bounce back. So keep that in mind. But I don't love how all this seemingly went down and what that could mean for other Big 12 schools. Because, look, if it can happen to Iowa State right now, it could happen to damn near anybody. I think the Big 12 has done a great job at, for the most part, keeping its high-profile stars away from the transfer portal. We saw that this year with all the pursuit of the different quarterbacks in the Big 12, Sam Leavitt, Josh Hoover, Avery Johnson, Oregon giving some pursuit to Leavitt, Tennessee perhaps coming after all three. Rocco Becht, another one you could throw in there that there was an On3 report about. Big 12's done a pretty good job of keeping guys that are actually there on the roster, which, I think that's one thing. If they're on the roster and they're producing, they're going to get a big NIL check, especially at a key position like quarterback. So you probably got a little more in terms of your hooks in them. They've also been there, seen the program, know what it is. You have the advantage of the familiarity with that. It's a little bit harder when they haven't actually been there and played, and you're in this situation trying to reel in the high school recruit. So I do think this is something to watch out for. You kind of always have to keep your head on a swivel these days in college football, all the time for everybody, but especially if you are a Big 12 or ACC school here trying to protect your upper level talent, your high level quarterbacks from getting swiped up like that. So kind of sucks, but it is what it is. It is what it is right now for the clones of the Big 12. Thank you all for being here. Please do like the video, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate everybody who does that. Subscribe for the Open for Business to the Open for Business Big 12 newsletter. That's at ofbnews.com. 4,400 plus Big 12 fans reading it twice a week to your inbox for free. Totally free. Just sign up at ofbnews.com. Venmo, John-Kurtz-4 if you want to leave me a question or comment there. You can also create a super chat in the chat if you're here live by clicking the $ below the chat box if you so please. I appreciate all of you who do that.